parenting team concerns. Now, I want to set the conditions for this because this is going to be interesting. So I'm in my house, hypothetically speaking, and you're in your house. And so you guys got things going on. And so I may feel one way about something and you feel another way about something. And so I may want them not to do it. And you'd be like, well, it's okay. You know, how do we handle that as a parenting team that live in two separate dwellings? Well, what does that look like?
You know, the conversation about dating when they turn 16. Now, I'm the custodial parent. Right. I could have just said, well, yeah, go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
But that is their father. And even though me and him may not be married anymore, I still respect his role as their father. So if he had said, no, let's push it back to 17, we would have had to have some conversation as to why do you want to push it back? What issues are you seeing that I don't see?
Right.
Let's talk about this.
Yeah.
But he said, I know you got it because you're a little off about them girls anyway. So if you saying it's good, it's good.
I love it. I love it.
But no, you know, they're with him, you know, during the summers and, you know, holidays, Christmas, every other Christmas. But
yeah,
when they would go there, if it was time to wash clothes, he would wash their clothes. And they would say, Mommy already taught us how to wash clothes. He said, oh, I know she did, but, you know, I just want to do it. So he knows, based off of what I said before, these are things that we decided when we were married, how we would raise them. Right. I did not change that. So if they go there to his home with his now wife, they already know, and he knows exactly what I did, because these are things that we both decided we would do when we were parents. I didn't change it just because we divorced. It's still the same foundation. So whether they're in my home or in his home, it's the same thing.
Wow. I love it. I love it. So I just wanted to make sure I'm crystal clear on what you're saying. So even though you have your own home and you guys can be at a disagreement, you still feel it's important for you guys to talk, to have an shared understanding about what's the best course of action moving forward for your daughters.
Yes.
Textbook perfect. I love it. I love it. I've had several conversations. I hate to say it this way. I'm just being honest. I've had several conversations to where the outcome was, well, this is my house, and whatever I say in my house goes. And if they don't like it, that's okay. They'll be all right. And I'm like, okay, you're right. It is your house. I can't tell you what to do. But you did come and ask me for my thoughts. Right. So instead of giving my thoughts, I just asked a few questions just to get an understanding where they were. And because of the response, I decided to maintain and keep my thoughts. Right. I got it. I understand. But I
will say this. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, please.
The comment of, this is my house, what I say goes. Yes, your house, but this is our children. That's the difference. This is not an object. These are people. So I can say, this is my house, this is how it goes, but these are our children. This is what we discuss. It's not even, don't get me started on that. Because a house and people, house, children, that's two different things.
Absolutely.
And if you go to somebody else's house, you know how your parents raised you. Okay, you know how to act. When you go to somebody else's house, does it matter that you're at somebody else's house, or do you act appropriately?
Absolutely.
You act appropriately.
Yeah, I agree 100%. So, thank you for sharing. Now, I got another concern I want to ask, because, these concerns are important, because this is where we learn and grow, right? So, we talked about the idea of two separate households, but we also have two separate sets of friends. And I kind of mentioned it previously that a lot of times most people talk to the people that's going to listen to and agree with what they're going to say. So what about those concerns to where you have these group of people who are talking against the other parent and say, yeah, you don't necessarily need to listen to that person, blah, 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 this, that, there. Oh, they moved on, they're married now, and that's not, what value does that bring to the parenting team, if any?
Well, if you got people like that talking to you negatively, how are you growing? You can't grow that way. And even your close friends, my family never took sides, just so you know. My family, they never took sides. And I was upset. They never took sides. But it wasn't that way on the other side. And that took some years
Mm,
to, and now, I mean, hey, we're fine. It just took some time. But
yeah.
the people who are speaking against it, this is what I learned. When you go and you tell people how somebody's hurt you, and then you forgive that person, they
Mm,
aren't able to forgive so easily. So they still mad about it. So get you some wise counsel. Get you somebody that's going to stay neutral. Talk to the Lord, talk to your pastor, which is what I did. So you can get a perspective from both sides. Because if you get around the wrong people, that bitterness going to creep up and you're going to start doing things that you ain't supposed to be doing. I'm just going to say
absolutely.
it.
Yeah.
So if you're not going to talk to somebody who's neutral, who's not going to fill you with the negativity, it's already a negative thing that you're going through.
Right.
Get somebody that's going to lift you up, pour some positivity back into you because you're being depleted. Like divorce is like death. Like it's a mourning period that you have
Yeah.
to go through.
Absolutely. Yeah.
And you don't need more negativity. You need people that are going to uplift and show you, hey, I know this is where you're at now. However, let's move on from here. So
Right.
if I started talking like that to my sister, she would always flip it. Okay, so what are you doing right now?
Mm,
Oh, I'm doing this. Okay, let's talk about that then. So I was
mm,
never allowed to sit in the negative, in the sadness, in the anger that I felt because I had wise counsel
I
around
love
me.
it. I
And we
love it.
don't gossip. My
Mm.
daughters don't even gossip. This house so quiet. No phones ringing off the hook. No,
Right.
but it starts at the top. So if they don't see
Exactly.
me gossiping, they already know that that's just not it. So we don't gossip, and we are not around people who speak negatively about
Yeah.
every single thing because we understand what it'll do to us on the inside, and then externally what it'll do.
Man, I love it. I love it. Thank you for that. That is awesome. And I know I asked the question strange in a particular in a strange kind of way, but I did that intentionally because I wanted you to reverse what I was saying. And I mean, and just and I want to make sure I'm saying I have not like coached her in what to say. These are all her words, by the way, and I'm trying to ask them in a question from the perspective of other people. And so, what I want is for everyone to hear that as I set the conditions of the question and listen to how she is responding, because she said some things that I thought just now was just phenomenal. She brought in the idea of wise counsel. Wise counsel is the key. But here's what's more important prior to wise counsel is that I need to be able to recognize wise counsel. If I can't recognize wise counsel because I am so filled with emotion, then when wise counsel show up, I'm going to discard it because it's not what I want to hear. I want somebody to get in the boat of despair with me and row the other side so we can keep this boat going straight down this no ending pathway. That's what it is. So wise counsel is the perfect response. And I so love what your sister did for you. Like she would not let you stay in that boat. Like, okay, great. What are you doing? Because that's always the answer. I tend to have a philosophy, right? And I don't know if our friend shared with you. I'm an avid Bible reader. But one of the things I learned a while ago is that the Bible was written for me. And I don't care who says that statement, it works. The Bible is written for me. So what I cannot
Yes.
do is take it and throw it at anybody else. So here's the funny part about it. If I'm throwing a situation at someone else, that's my fault. Because I did not use what I was reading. I got it. This situation happened. It was bad. But guess what? I took part in some shape, form, or fashion in this situation. It may be crystal clear to me. It may be kind of vague, and I may need somebody to help me to understand my part in it, but it still exists. So when I read these lines and I read these words and these scriptures and these chapters in these books, I need to see me in the lines of every last one of them. And until I'm able to do that, wise counselors show up and leave because I can't hear it. I'm still supercharged with emotion. So man, your sister, she did the best thing that anybody could do. Because when you think of it, if I can get you to dance to the song that I'm singing right now, and I'm singing the song of emotions, I'm singing the song of hurt, pain, frustration, anger. And if you start singing along with me, if you start singing backup, then we're going to sing a tune together. And it just keeps it going over and over again. And then eventually what we're going to do, we're going to go recruit some more backup singers. And next thing you know, we got a quartet going on. Still singing the same song 4 or 5 years down the line. And I think, and I know I say it jokingly, but it's really how it works. You cannot choose to stay there. And I am so glad that your environment worked with you and helped to pull you out of there for the sake of those girls. So man, this is so good. I love it. I love it. Definitely putting it all in practice. And this is what we talk about when this is what I tend to talk about. We start talking practical theology. This is what it looked like. It didn't feel good, but it turned out to be good because I didn't make it about me. So I so love that. Thank you for that.
Right.
I don't think I can come up with any more concerns right now. So so I'm gonna move forward. So this is so good, right? And we talked about, the future of your daughters. And again, hats off, kudos to them. I love the fact of, going to college and, looking at, future plans in trade or technical, whatever that looks like. But what are the future plans for you? Because you started off in the beginning and you told us about books, public speaking, where you're currently working at, helping people, giving back to the military, giving back to the government. Like, so what's left for you to do? Like, do you have any more room on your schedule?
I'm trying to remove some stuff off my schedule.
I love it.
But so the term of empty nester. My daughters, one is 19, one is 17. She'll be 18 in June, 10 days after she graduates. And I said, we're going to go on a trip. This is my last vacation on me.
Yeah.
Not saying we ain't going to have family vacations, but I'm not going to be financially responsible anymore. So we're going to go on a trip. And then after that, I think I'm ready to date. I ain't going to say I think. I know I am. Because I feel like this stage of mothering is complete. And now I'm moving into more mentorship with them. So
absolutely.
I've already mothered. And now I'm seeing with my 19-year-old, she's coming back asking me, how do I do this? What does this look like? So it's more of a mentorship role because I've already mothered them. So now I'm just sitting listening and just mentoring them in this young adulthood that they're going into. So future plans for me are looking like I'm gonna get some rest. And even though they're not leaving the nest, I can leave and I can be gone for more than a day or two. So I'm excited to go on vacations. I would like to do more public speaking, write some more, but also just take some time to really rest because I won't lie, it has been hard to be, sold out parenting, because that's what I call it. It's sold out. There's no distraction. There's no sugar daddy over here, boo, friend with benefits. It ain't none of that. It ain't that going on. I'm in a relationship with my daughters. So now I'm coming out of that where I'm seeing I have more time to do things. But what do I want to do? First, I want to rest. And then I want to travel some more.
Okay. Yeah. I love it. So I want to ask, because we kind of touched on it a little bit. So you mentioned your book. So if you don't mind, kind of like tell, and I don't know how many books you have, so if you don't mind sharing that with us, like what's the title of them? What's there about? Where can we find them at?
So the one that was recently published is Mothers and Daughters. Their story, their way, only they can tell it, and it is available on Amazon. And it's a co-author project where there are 7 different chapters from different women, different walks of life, just to say, if we did it, you can definitely do it.
Yeah.
And I speak about divorce in this and what I went through. And the name of my chapter is called Redemption. Because in the beginning, it seemed like everything was taken from me. But in the end, I got back double.
Yeah.
So, I can't be mad about that. And then also, I am working on re-releasing an ebook that I initially published in 2019 because the Lord told me, you have more perspective now.
There you
Go
go.
back and fill in some areas where you have
Yeah.
perspective. So hopefully that'll be completed July timeframe.
All right.
Um, and the title of that is called "What Does Trust the Process Mean?"
Mm, I like that. So I want to make sure. Hold up the book again. I want everybody to see it.
And this is the author copy. But this
Okay.
is what it looks like: mothers and daughters, their story, their way, only they can tell it.
I love it. So I understand it's titled Mothers and Daughters,
Hmm.
but I also believe it would be a good read for a man as well, because
Yes.
it is very important that we learn the story of the other side. We need to understand someone else's perspective. Every in group have their own story, shared story. And when men get together, we talk from one perspective. But what we also need to understand is what their side of the story is as well. So we need to hear the story told from the side of a woman, from her perspective, what she went through, and the reason that's important because it helps us to better communicate given the situation. It may help our situations out. It may help out, some friends, loved ones, even our children, if so for, if it, unfortunately, if that ever happens. But it's important that we only not just stick with our in group, but we step outside of our in group so we can see another person's perspective. And just so that you know, I'm buying my copy as soon as we get finished here. And I will post the purchase receipt in our chat window so you can see it.
Okay.
I just believe in supporting, other entrepreneurs because that's what we should be doing. Um,
Thank you so much.
no, thank you. Thank you for sharing that with us. And I challenge every man that hears this to go buy her book. I believe if you listen to her talk, there's no doubt in my mind that you're going to learn something in the chapter of redemption. So by all means, go purchase it. So when you do your public speaking, like what are your talking points? Like what's your niche?
So it just depends because we literally just had the first inaugural Mothers and Daughters brunch April the 9th. And I spoke there, but I spoke about working in the wait,
Mm,
where I prayed about it, and the Lord told me that's what I needed to talk about. And one day, He sat me down, and everything just came. So just talking about, what are you doing in the meantime? We all have been told promises, but what are you doing right now that's going to help your
right.
future self? Are you
Yeah.
working? A divorce? Are you healing?
Yeah.
Are you around wise counsel?
Mm,
Are you comparing your life now to somebody else's life without knowing what they went through? I mean, I may look like this right now, but days only one time.
yeah.
Like I shared, I took stuff to the pawn shop, so I might look put together right now. But did you see what I was doing back then?
Right.
I was working in the wait. I was in grad school. I was occupying my time by learning a trade,
Yeah.
spending time with the Lord, spending time with my daughters, instead of just sitting there like, oh, when is it my turn?
Yeah.
When do I get X, Y, and Z?
Right. Right.
No, I was working in the wait. So when it arrived, because we all got a set time for arrival, but it's up
That's
to
right.
us whether that time is delayed or not.
Mm,
And I'm not trying to be delayed because I didn't work while I was waiting.
that's right.
So it just
Man, that's good.
depends, where the Lord tells me to go. He tells me what I need to talk about.
I
Just like
love it.
before we started this, I prayed about it and I said, Lord, if you see I need to go another way, reroute me that way. So just being open to listening to the Holy Spirit. What do you want me to talk about? What is it that somebody's going to need when they look at this later,
Yeah.
when they read this later?
Yeah.
So it just depends.
I love it. I love it. She is very, very like what I'm hearing you say is that I have a wealth of knowledge and I am available to be used however he tells me. And I so love that idea. I so love that spirit because that's how we all should be. We should all be open to, and here's the other part to it. I am sure some of the things that you are told that you need to talk about can be challenging. But within those challenges is where you're going to find your growth. I can see the look on your face. Absolutely. within those challenges is where you're going to find your growth. So I love it. Thank you for sharing all of that with us. So for any young woman out there who wants to connect with you, any older woman who wants to connect with anybody, any person period that wants to connect with you and just hear more about your story, connect with you and just probably get some insight on if they want to write a book or just listen to you speak, where can they find you in the digital space?
So on Facebook, my name is Onita Simpson. On Instagram, it's looking underscore for the number 4 me underscore, I'm sorry, looking underscore for underscore me. That's Instagram. My website is onitav.com. And that's it. And if you go to the website, there's different, I guess, markings that are there: photography, public speaking. I still have to add the book link so that way people can get to it, but there is a form on there for public speaking. If they want to inquire, they can click the link and it'll ask, what would you like me to talk about? And then also I plan on later this year opening up for mentorship, because I've had a few ladies that I've actually mentored who are going through a divorce, and men. And that was something that I wanted to do. So when I was approached, I know that I was on the right track. So I want to make sure I do it correctly. I don't want to just throw something together. I want to have a curriculum, because I want people to be healed and I want them to get something out of my time and what I'm able to give them based off of my experiences. So later in the year, I do plan on offering a mentorship to 1 or 2. That's max.
I love it. I love the idea of mentorship, because that's my niche, that's my puppy. So leadership, mentorship, development, especially male men development, growing, just all of those things. So man, this is so good just to hear you talk about. And I love the fact that you're opening up to men. See, for me, I love that. Don't be afraid of the outgroup. The outgroup is really where I'm telling you, that's where the connection needs to happen. Like, we need men. You need to be open to learning from women. Women need to be open to learning from men. Don't look at it as in-group, out-group. Look at it from another perspective, teaching you a different language. And when you look at it from that way, it just a whole new world can open up. Now, I have a special section that I tend to have for all of my guests. And this is, for me, this is like the golden goose. I need the golden egg. Like, what is the final thought that you're going to just drop on all of us that's going to blow our socks off?
That's good. I would say, regardless of what has happened in your life, it's easy to be bitter, but choose better, because in the end, that is how you win. You win, you triumph because you chose better. And that's all I have.
I love it. I love it. It actually had a rhyme to it. I need to write that down. I'll go back and listen to it again and write it down, because it sounds like it should be a part of a song. Like, seriously, it was that good, and I love it. And thank you for sharing that with us. I just want to say, number one, you have blessed me in this whole conversation. I love listening to how you articulated your story and the things that you went through. And more importantly, now you can sit back and see the outcome of all of the hard work and, being able to overcome being filled with emotions. And you felt the anger, you felt the bitter, you felt the frustration, but you chose to love your daughters more than you hated him. And I have that written here, because I'm going to keep it. I'm going to post it up on my screen here, because I think that's a powerful statement. When we can love our children more than we hate what someone else has done to us in the past, I think that's the most important thing for us to grasp. So, Anita, thank you so much for this conversation. You were referred to me with, like just glaring accolades, and trust me when I say you did not disappoint. And I'm not surprised. I really am not surprised. Yeah, I'm not surprised. Anytime Sherry refers somebody to me, they always just, show up and just have a phenomenal conversation, and I love it. So on behalf of the Empowering Perspective community, we just want to thank you. We appreciate you and everything that you're doing. And I'm going to put a plug out now, because I think you and I should have another conversation at a later point in time. So you let me know when. I will make room on my schedule for you, and we can go from there.
Absolutely. I would love to be back. I really appreciate this opportunity to be a part of this. And this is what we need in the community: more empowerment, more encouragement, to show people where you're at right now is not the end.
Absolutely.
And if God is in the future, it's going to be good. And He is in the future.
See, that was another one. That was another golden nugget right there. So you full of them. I know it. I love it. Listen, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Thank you.